Now we can select elements using XPath with their tag name and attributes, but what if we want to select elements based on their text? Let's say we would like to select this heading 1 element. To do that, we can use the text function. So let's just go ahead and use the page locator. We'll start with the tag name that in this case is h1. So let's go ahead and do that and start with 2 slashes because this is a relative path, and then inside of square brackets we can define functions, and the function we're going to use is the text function. Why is it a function? Because we are going to call it using parentheses like this. What it will do is just give us the text inside of this h1 element, and then we can match it using an equal sign and the thing which we want to match, which will be, let's say, heading 1. And now I can go ahead and highlight the same. You can see our heading is highlighted, and you will notice that this text function is an exact match with what we are doing here. Unlike the get by text locator or the CSS text pseudo selector, it exactly matches what we need. So if I go ahead and try to match something like the head, you will see it does not find anything. But if we were to use the get by text locator, it will find all the elements with the head text inside of it. So if we want to do a loose selection or a loose conditional checking, then we can use another function that is called contains. So we'll start with our locator, error there. So we select the h1 element with the word head. To do that, inside of the box brackets, we create a new function definition that is contains, and inside of this parentheses we provide 2 arguments. Now let me go ahead and put this into a new line so it is formatted correctly. Okay, now it should allow me to do it. Well, I'll have to type it again. Okay, so h1, the contains function, and inside of the parentheses, the first argument is the thing we want to match with. So the text of this element should contain the head word inside of it. So now you can see that I have used the text function within this function, which is completely fine. Now here I can use anything like a properties or an attributes value as well. Now I will show you that in a second. So now if I go ahead and try to highlight the things with the head word, that is the h1 elements, you will see that this is getting selected. Now if I go ahead and try to look for something else, that is, let's say we would like to select this primary button right here, and you can see it has a class of button hyphen outline hyphen primary. So here what we can do is use the class instead of the text. So to use an attribute, we start with the @ symbol and then the attribute name, that is class, and then here we would like the class to have this button hyphen outline hyphen primary. So we will just type that out, outline hyphen primary. I will go ahead and hit enter. You can see it goes ahead and does not find it because I have not changed the tag name. My bad. So the tag name will be button instead. Let's rerun this. And you can see it goes ahead and finds the primary button. Now you will see that I have used the contains function to match a class inside of a elements class. Now using CSS, we could simply write something like button outline primary like this. But using XPath, you have to be explicit and say that the class's value should contain this bit of text. Only then we are gonna go ahead and select it. And on top of that, it should be a button element. Now, of course, at first sight, it will look bulky and lengthy to write XPaths instead of CSS selectors. But XPath has its perks as well, that is its function. Now, what we can do is use the same thing to search through elements based on their attributes value. That is, let's say what I would like to do is select a input field, the same thing we have been doing for a while, that is an input field with the value attribute containing the correct value. So instead of that, we just like to search for an input field whose value will contain the correct word. So let's go ahead and do that. We will first change the tag name into input, the attribute name as value, and the actual value to match with will be RIGHT, that is correct instead. Oops. That is correct. And now if we go ahead and run the selector, you will see this getting selected. So if any input field with the value attribute contains correct, then we are gonna go ahead and select it. So that's how we can use XPath and its functions to locate web elements using Playwright.